go 1.5.
Awesome. Tonight we are going to be talking about 3 specific supplements. One of them is liquid chlorophyll. Now, if y'all listen to my radio show, and some of y'all local may listen to my radio show on Talk 99.5 on Saturday from 3 to 5, I talk a lot about liquid chlorophyll. So tonight we have samples if people want to taste liquid chlorophyll. It has a nice spearmint flavor. Ours has a nice spearmint flavor. The one in Nature Sunshine. People have said to me, oh, I went in Whole Foods and I bought liquid chlorophyll and it doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste like spearmint. And I was like, I was talking about my liquid chlorophyll with Nature Sunshine. So that spearmint taste makes it where it's not so green tasting, but it is green and it is chlorophyll. And remember from science class, chlorophyll is what makes green things green. It's plant's blood. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And then we're going to talk about turmeric curcumin. And then we're going to talk about ionic minerals, which has all 70 trace minerals and some acai and other things. So this is what the liquid chlorophyll 16-ounce bottle would look like. Now it comes in a 32, so once you like it a lot, you might do that. You can give it to people so that we're going to talk about all the different benefits, but you can give it to animals too, but you start with 1 drop when you're working with dogs and cats in their water bowls so that they get used to the taste, because especially cats, they don't really like for you to change anything. So they can be finicky, as we know. So I'm not going to read through this whole thing. Y'all have got this little brochure here. And like I say, most people remember the word chlorophyll, not chloroform. I had a lady ask me that the other day. I'm like, no, that's not it. This is chlorophyll. Okay. So chlorophyll appears to have an affinity for blood, which may explain by some similarities between it and hemoglobin in your cells. Some research suggests that chlorophyll can increase oxygen uptake in the blood, which can increase energy, relieve fatigue, and improve certain blood disorders. Chlorophyll also supplies the much needed micronutrient magnesium, which is lacking in today's common diet and can contribute to increased energy levels. It possesses antioxidant capabilities, which may account for some of its reported benefits. Finally, chlorophyll is a vital component of the plant kingdom. So it's going to be in food that you might eat. Maybe. So yesterday, y'all, how many green things did you eat? Yesterday. How many servings of green things did you have yesterday? So think about that. And because sometimes people have a hard time answering that question, I asked a lady today and she said 0. And I said, that's why we supplement. Now, hopefully you eat. Mark?
I'm thinking green M&Ms don't count.
No, they don't count. That's right. So green, it could be, in our neck of the woods, it could be okra. I'm going to eat some okra tonight. And then it could be turnip greens, collard greens. In our neck of the woods, that's what a lot of people eat. And then it could also be broccoli. It could be asparagus, zucchini, green zucchini. There's all kinds of possibles. But so many people don't get it in a day. So that is why we might supplement. So it helps. Hey, how are you? Come on in. Come on in. Y'all show her where the brochures and sample is, please. So it's a protection from toxins. Now, how many of y'all are exposed to toxins? We all are. We're exposed to them on our job. We're exposed to them in cleaning products. Like we were talking about organic fruits and vegetables, if you don't eat organic, you're exposed to toxins that way as well. So it can help protect us from some of these toxins by neutralizing them. And what some of the toxins might be is cigarette smoke, coal dust, diesel emission particles, things like that. It can help to neutralize. Now, other findings are that the chlorophyll is an antitoxin protection because it's rich in beta carotene, vitamin C, and vitamin E, which we know those are antioxidants. So let's flip over, and it does give research. Now it talks about, yes.
I'm sorry, before we go on, since you just mentioned beta carotene, are there any demonstrable benefits to vision?
It would.
As a result of beta carotene?
In the beta carotene situation. There's some flyers right over there, my dear. Oh, I don't have the chlorophyll one. Here you go. And thank you. And then, yes, it would help the eyes. It'd be another factor. What I always talk about it for is helping to repel mosquitoes because you smell different, but it's also other people are gonna be more attracted to you because it helps us not to have body odor because it purifies the blood. So our sweat doesn't stink so bad, our breath doesn't stink so bad, that kind of thing. It helps cleansing in that way. Same way with our animals. If you are really close to a dog and you're petting it and it's licking your face or whatever it be, if it adds bad breath, it's like really hard to do. So if you give the dog the chlorophyll regularly in its water bowl, it's going to freshen their breath too. But ticks and fleas and insects are not going to be attracted to them either. So it has all kinds of benefits there. Now, it talks about what research shows as far as cancer research, toxins, and cardiovascular health. The cardiovascular health, it says, Australian scientists demonstrated that chlorophyll derivatives were successful in showing the oxidation of LDL, bad cholesterol, which is a key component in the onset of cardiovascular disease. The research stated that the findings may be therapeutically relevant for humans. That's pretty cool. Now, let's talk about these 11 different things specifically. But do notice that on the back side here, it gives all the references to the research. You know how people love to say to you, well, I don't know about taking any of that natural stuff because you know it hadn't been studied. Don't y'all just love to hear that? Well, this is an exception, okay? So number one, this liquid chlorophyll chlorophyllin is a key derivative of chlorophyll, which research demonstrating that it possesses several potential health benefits in helping with that. It's an antioxidant. We just talked about that. It acts as an anti-cancer agent. Now, there's lots of things that cause that big C to happen. So it's not one thing you take that's going to clear all that up, but it could be a piece to the puzzle. So in the antioxidant, helping with free radical damage, and with it helping to detoxify your body, that kind of thing. Many things could be helpful in that category. And especially in the category of liver and stomach and colon, you know, when you have more situation like that. It protects against toxins. We were just talking about cigarette smoke and diesel. Like I used to drive a school bus and you're around all kind of exhaust when you do that. And so it's a good tool you might utilize in your water. And any kind of carcinogens you would be exposed to, right? Supports health of blood cells. So the chlorophyll improves the health of blood cells that may increase the uptake of oxygen in the blood. Some experts attribute this to some similarities, hey Jane, between chlorophyll and hemoglobin. So increases energy levels, particularly due to blood-friendly attributes of chlorophyll and its ability to detoxify. Chlorophyll may allow the body to optimize energy production. enhances immune function. Studies indicate that this chlorophyllin, a derivative of chlorophyll, was able to increase the number and activity of various immune cells, including T cells, B cells, and macrophages. These cells are some of the crucial components of the body's immune defense. Then we just talked about the cardiovascular system and the LDL, the bad cholesterol, how it can impact that. And then it minimizes the side effects of chemotherapy. So people call me all the time asking questions about, I'm going to have to take chemotherapy. Are there any supplements that I can take that would help counteract the side effects of some of the radiation, chemo, things I might have to do? And I say to them, yes, and there's three main ones that in just general terms I would feel comfortable with. One of them is liquid chlorophyll. One of them is a probiotic. And the other one is aloe vera juice. So if you know anybody going through that, those three I feel comfortable with. Now, are there other things that might help? Yes. But just in general terms, think of those. Now, 10, it talks about may reduce risk of kidney stones. Golly, I've only had those one time, and I never want to experience them again.
Amen.
You know, they're not fun. And guys, if you ever do get them, they do feel like back labor when you're having a baby. So then you know what it feels like, and you go, whoop, don't want any more of them. So, what? Yes.
Real quick, I have a next door neighbor that does have issues with kidney stones on a regular basis.
Okay.
I'm thinking though that it's not going to, you wouldn't want to use this at the time of the kidney stones. This is more of a preventive, ongoing maintenance type thing, I would think.
But you can use it at the time. But at the time, what I usually recommend is lemon, fresh lemon, as heavy as you can stand to taste.
Okay.
And then we have some herbs that you might look at, either hydrangea or burdock.
Okay.
And then many times magnesium is another thing to look at in that situation. But this can be added to the water, and say if you don't drink water, don't even start working on kidney stones. You got to be hydrated.
Right, right.
So it talks about how the research has been done against calcium oxalate stone disease, which is one of the varieties of kidney stones. And then it eliminates odor, and that's what I was talking about earlier. The findings of different studies indicate that chlorophyll may eliminate or reduce odors associated with colostomies, urinary tract disorders. Have y'all ever had a urinary tract infection or whatever it be, and you pee and you go, hey, you know, now it's not like urine always smells good, but when you've got a UTI, it can be yuck. So anyway, this is something that can help with that, as well as body odor and breath and all that. So it gives the information which you already study in school about chlorophyll is known to be the plant's blood and da-da-da-da and all that information. And then it gives those scientific references. So if you're really wanting to study liquid chlorophyll, research. By the way, ladies, when y'all joined us later, in that cup over there is purified water with a little bit of chlorophyll in those little tiny cups over there. So please try it, this liquid chlorophyll in water. It has a nice spearmint taste, and let me know what you think.
I do like the taste of that. So for the regular ongoing benefits, the maintenance plan, if you will, what's the recommended mixture in water, say in a 12-ounce?
I usually say let's start slow,
right,
and just start with a few drops, and then you can work up to a teaspoon if you would like.
In
Some people in one glass of water. Okay. But what I do is in the morning, I will add it to some vitamin C. I like putting those two flavors together.
Okay.
And I will drink the majority of my dose for the day at that time frame, or I have put it in different containers that I carry with me for the day. So you've got a variety of ways of doing it. You can take it all at one time, or you can split it up during the day. but it definitely keeps mosquitoes around this neck of the woods from wanting to bite on you. But you do need it. You don't. A lady asked me today. She said, "Okay, you don't just take it when you know you're going to go camping or to the woods. No, you're taking it on a daily basis to prevent that."
Well, the reason I asked is because I've heard you mention maybe once or twice the importance about drinking a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
I know I don't. I've tried to improve that. I don't give a rip for water. No taste,
Understand.
no flavor, and here's Coke, here's a milkshake, So,
Right.
but I'm thinking that really and truly that adding this to water would probably help me increase my water intake, or at least lower my resistance to drinking as much water as I know I should.
Right, because it gives it a taste.
Right, because you see all these powdered things you can buy and put in them, and colorings and all the other stuff. So it's whatever vitamins or minerals they claim to have are kind of probably offset by the additives.
Right.
And
artificial sweeteners and colors are not what you need to do. I agree.
Okay. Thank you.
But I like the way chlorophyll tastes, and I have been doing it for years. And my children, growing up, you know how you have a sipper cup, and you would put maybe a splash of juice, but mostly water. I would put the liquid chlorophyll in there, and my children got to where if they went over to somebody else's house and they wanted to drink juice, if it didn't have chlorophyll in it, they didn't like it because they had gotten so used to the flavor of a little bit of splash of juice in water and the chlorophyll, because it does kind of blend pretty together. So, okay, our next thing to talk about is this turmeric curcumin. Now, turmeric has been a part of certain cultures' diet for hundreds of years. But not so much here, right? Now in the last few years, everybody's using it, but let's say 10 years ago, y'all. 10 years ago. Did y'all ever use turmeric?
Nope.
So people are doing it now. It's got a beautiful color. It's been used to dye clothing and things for years. But eating it and using it as anti-inflammatory, that's kind of like a new thing. Now, this is not a new herb, but it's new knowledge that people have found out about it. So it talks about currently there are 160 million Americans in pain at one time, and 116 million suffer from chronic pain. Did you know that? Think about that. That's a bunch of people walking around in pain. Maybe that's our vehicle rage problem. Maybe that's our issue with everybody beating somebody up. That guy that bit that girl's finger off that was in the news recently, and all this kind of crazy stuff. Maybe that's why they hurt. Hurt people, don't they?
That's right.
You heard that before? So maybe that's one of the problems with all these people in the world, is they're in pain. They don't feel good and they act out on it. So helping people to relieve their pain might help everybody get along a little better. What y'all think? So it talks about even physicians are starting to recognize the medicinal benefits of turmeric. And I think it helps that in our, especially if you went to UAB and looked at the percentage of doctors from India, that they've been using it for thousands of years, so they don't poo-poo it and says it's great. And that helps some of the other physicians who say, what you talking about? So turmeric offers safe, powerful relief. And so a lot of people have inflammation. Of course, that's the root of a lot of dis-ease in the body. And it's a plant that's been used for centuries in various cultures as a therapy for a wide range of conditions, including centering in on pain and inflammation. So it gives some statistics about people in India that use curcumin or turmeric and ones that did not, with different health issues. And y'all can read the rest of this all you want to, but basically it talks about how does turmeric work. Unlike pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories that have an irritant effect on the gastric tract, so on the belly. Curcumin is not an irritant, and so it's calming and soothing to inflamed areas. Curcumin also stimulates gastroprotective mucus secretions, thereby protecting the stomach and intestinal wall from inflammation. I have a lot of people. I had a guy call me today talking about inflammation when he had the little thing ran down his esophagus, looking around in his belly and that kind of thing, and what they come back with. So a whole bunch of people have inflammation either in their esophagus or their stomach or colon or whatever it be.
Maybe that's why so many of the Indians cook with that hot, spicy curry.
They do.
And they don't seem to suffer from it.
That's right. And those things are really good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So 10 reasons why you might use turmeric. Slows inflammation, which is linked to chronic pain and dozens of other conditions. Neutralizes free radicals, the damage that they cause. Provides superior antioxidant protection against free radicals, toxins, and pollutants. Relieves chronic pain from joints, back, and neck. Soothes the gastrointestinal tract from inflammatory conditions. Safeguards the brain from oxidative stress. Whoop, that's important. Prevents oxidation of LDL cholesterol in blood vessels and brain. Optimizes liver function by protecting liver cells and triggering liver activity. Prevents premature aging throughout the body by protecting cells, slowing inflammation, and reducing cellular damage. And improves oxygen utilization in the brain throughout the body. Now, we just went over liquid chlorophyll, and we're going over this one, and we hear a lot of the same things, don't we? You might work on them both. So it's got science behind the turmeric. It's been studied, but I'll tell you the deal. Now, a whole bunch of people tell me that they take more black pepper on their food since they heard that they're taking turmeric and they're adding black pepper to their food and ramping it up. No, it doesn't work that way. That's not it. Black pepper extract, which is known as piperine, ramps up the turmeric and makes it more potent. Not black pepper that we used to put on our food. There's a book. Go ahead.
And it's radiators.
Right, that we put in radiators, stop the radiator leak. There's a book in my collection of books over there that says black pepper is 14 times more irritating to your liver than alcohol. Not piperine, but the black pepper that we might put on your food. It's hard for your body to break down. It doesn't dissolve well. So that's why, and I wouldn't recommend that. Capsicum or cayenne pepper is a much better way to go to put on your food. Yes, it's hotter, but start slow and you can work up. It's really a better way to go. So, turmeric, curcumin, Nature Sunshine has that product, and this is what it looks like. And it is dosage usually recommended 2 a day, but if you had a problem, a major problem, you might take a little more, right? Usually though, when I'm doing a consult with a person, I'll say 1 morning, 1 supper. Remember, if you are on meds of any kind, but especially pain meds, and you're doing this to kind of help out a little bit, you want to take this at least an hour away from any pharmaceutical. Anything natural, at least an hour away from anything pharmaceutical. Keep that in mind. Now, let me get these together because we've had another person join us. Jim, do you mind coming up here and grabbing this? I've already gone over 2 of them. But now, our next one we're going to talk about is ionic minerals. Now, this is a liquid, obviously. It does require refrigeration after you open it up. The other thing is, minerals usually don't taste good. So this is what I say. Before you pour this into a container, shake it up. every single time. Because if something doesn't taste good and you don't shake it up, it gets more and more concentrated as you go down in bad taste. So if you shake it up, it's equal. Okay? Now, I've tried this. It has some acai berry. Y'all tried acai berry? I think acai tastes pretty good.
The ACAI?
Yeah, ACAI. And this has that in there, but it's still not just like drinking Kool-Aid or anything. It doesn't really taste good, but it's okay, and it's good for you. Because minerals, they just don't taste good, y'all. They just don't. But they made it be as good as they possibly could. Now, sometimes it'll have a little yellow box on here to tell you a little bit about it, and it does talk about its charged ionic minerals. So minerals are what you're made up of. There's like 70 trace minerals that everybody has in their body. I had a lady today, I did a speaking engagement at a support group for Parkinson's. Great class, it was awesome. Well, one of the ladies said to me that she had a very bad taste in her mouth, minerally kind of taste in her mouth. And so I told her, I said, something's off with your minerals. So I was recommending to her to do some liquid minerals to bring balance, because if you have too much inorganic minerals you gotten out of whack, the organic minerals will help to displace that and bring more balance in your body. And so we're going to talk about the ionic minerals. That's our last brochure here. And it talks about, it says we are not healthy. Well, the main thing is the food is only as good as the soil of which it was grown in. Do y'all agree? That's where it gets its nutrients. And we know, you can read that the soil just becomes more and more depleted as the years go on. And we have to add back to the soil, and unfortunately they don't always do all that stuff, so we end up with food that's just don't taste the same and doesn't have all the goodie in it that it used to. So it goes over. That's why many times we need to supplement. Now, the other thing is, as we were just saying before, a lot of people don't eat green things. They don't eat vegetables that have minerals in them every single day. Now, I try to eat 5 to 7 servings of vegetables every day, but a lot of people don't eat like that. So consequently, where are you going to get your minerals? And I still take minerals even in addition to that. The other mineral formula we have is called Mineral Chi Tonic. And what makes it different is it has adaptogens that bring balance in the body. But this one that we're going to talk about is the ionic minerals with the acai. So ionic minerals, meaning that they are electrically charged. Are you electrical?
Yes.
We are electrical. The heart and the other muscles in the body do run off electricity. You can measure the electrical impulses coming from the heart with an EKG. You can jumpstart your heart like a battery with a defibrillator. If we were not electrical, that would not work. So we are. So these ionic minerals are electrically charged and are far superior to non-ionic minerals. The reason is that ionic minerals are more easily and quickly absorbed into the cells that line the intestinal tract, which makes them readily available for the body to use when they are needed. Ionic minerals also normalize the acid-alkaline balance in the body. Okay, we talked about this before. You can test your pH of your urine and your saliva with pH strips that we have. So you spit on one, you urinate on a different one, they turn a color matches on number on the chart, and you want to stay in between that 6.5 and 7 range. You want to stay balanced. Well, what if you do it and you're not? Then we need to start working on some things. Enzymes, minerals, probiotics. There's different things we're going to look at. Diet, what you're eating. And some people just have a hard time with the dietary stuff. So this would be a way to help to bring balance with the pH in your body, which is huge, because if pH is perfectly balanced, You've heard the statement, cancer cells can't grow and multiply, yeast can't grow and multiply. There's lots of reasons. Bacteria can't grow and multiply. So if you deal with UTIs and bacterial problems all the time, balancing your pH, man, that's key. So see what it is. Check it 3 times a day, both urine and saliva for a week. Write down all your numbers, and then write down everything you're eating and drinking. Do a food journal, and then, you know, look at it. If you don't understand, flip it to me on an email or whatever, or bring it in. We'll talk. Now, the important role of minerals. Functions of minerals are involved with a wide variety of systems. So, beating of the heart, necessary. Clotting of the blood, maintaining nerve responses, transporting oxygen, building of bones and teeth, control of body fluids, regulation of muscle contractions. That's probably the one that a lot of people relate to a lot, because cramps, people ask me about cramps all the time, almost every single day. Regulation of digestion, governing energy metabolism, regulation of other minerals and vitamins, and assisting in glucose metabolism. Now, it shows the acai berries. Have y'all ever had the fresh acai berries? Or have you just had it frozen, or have you had it in a smoothie? No? It's really good. It's a little slightly tart, but it has a lot of sweetness in it too. The acai berry has been used by modern and ancient natives of the Amazon region, both as a medicinal aid for a variety of ailments and as a food and energy source. Now in the modern world is beginning, people are starting to get used to this unique flavor, and it's a small little berry. It delivers a remarkable array of nutrients. So it is going to be a very strong, powerful antioxidant. That's what most people talk about it. But it possesses about 30 times the athanogens content of red wine. You know, when people say, I drink red wine because that's going to help my cardiovascular system. Y'all heard that? Mm-hmm. Well, acai berry is really much more potent. And it also delivers a variety of vitamins and minerals, including vitamin E and copper and iron and calcium. It also contains amino acids, which are needed for numerous body functions and processes. And so its unique flavor, a lot of people mix it with chocolate. Now, I have to be honest, one of the ways, if y'all go to a local store around here called Sprouts, they have the acai berry that has been frozen, and it's just pretty much pureed, frozen, and they cover it in dark chocolate, and it's about that big. And you can just eat one of those things, and it blends beautifully the taste in your mouth. And if you just want a little tiny bit of a dessert, that would be a better way to go, because it's dark chocolate, and you got the acai berry, and it's an antioxidant, and it don't make you feel full or anything, but it just covers that little sweetness that you might want after you eat supper. I like it, whatever cranks your tractor. Now, Dr. Oz, everybody knows who that is, he has talked about the acai berry a lot and its benefits. And I have met Nicholas Perricone before, because he's come to our Nature Sun-Time thing. So he has, you know, a lot of these physicians have talked about the nutrients that you can put with your diet and what they are. And so that's one of it. Fulvic acid enhances nutrient absorption. So that is also part of the ionic minerals, in addition to the acai and the 70 trace minerals. So it's an antioxidant, electrolyte-rich organic base that enhances the absorption and utilization of the nutrients around it. So it just kind of goes with it and helps it be a little bit more potent and helps with electrolyte. So if you do sweat, and we live in Alabama now, you got to just go outside and you can sweat like a bug bear, right? Everybody's going to sweat in Alabama for sure, unless you just stay in the house and don't move. But if you do any kind of exercise, or you know, do construction or whatever it be, or just wash your car. I mean, you're going to sweat. And so we need to replace some of those electrolytes. So this would be a really good thing to put in your water when you're doing that kind of thing. So you don't end up cramping up. So you don't end up feeling totally washed out after you've been sweating a lot when you mow the grass, whatever it be. So highly recommend looking into something like that. 8 reasons to try the Ionic Mineral Acai Berry Blend. Cardiovascular support, cellular health, antioxidant protection, more energy, because we're made up of minerals, and when you get those minerals in your body, whoop. Now this is not a caffeine high, this is not a sugar high, it's stamina, endurance. That's totally different kind of energy, which is what you want to pay more attention to. Immune support, improves sexual health. Now, you might care, and basically the acai berry may be able to improve sexual function. The rich nutrient profile of the berry, along with the enhanced availability of the ionic minerals, would also support sexual health. Improve metabolism. So if you are in that weight loss category, you might want to pay attention to supplementing that, because if your minerals are balanced, craving for sugar or salt is pretty much gone. So if you say, well, I have a hard time sticking to the diet because I crave salt, or I crave sugar, or I crave this or that, if you keep your minerals balanced, that's going to make a huge difference. And this is one way to do that. And then just enhanced wellness. The products delivers the nutritional support that you need with basic minerals, and the acai berry also. And so all of this is something you might want to check out. We've gone over 3 different pamphlets. I did not write these pamphlets. They are something I got from Sound Concepts, and a friend of mine, Dr. Jay Vanderhoovel, he's one of the people that kind of put this together. And it's very, very good information about 3 products. Now, Nature's Sunshine has a ton of products, like about 600. We got a bunch of different products, and they're all good. One's not better than others. I was talking to a lady the other day, and I was telling her about 2 products that she might look at. I said, one or the other, and she goes, which is the best? And people ask me that question all the time, and I said, listen, I'm telling you about 2 things. One is not better than the other. God didn't make them that way. You and I are not better than the other. We're equal, the same. That's the way we're made by God. So all these herbs talk about so many different ones is they're all good. But it depends on you as an individual on what you might need. And that's why I do consults, because I ask all the questions, see what's going on, test you to see, look at your eyes, tongue, nails, do the little thing that I do in a consult. And by the time we get through, we have stuff figured out. So I'm going to let Mark turn off the YouTube, and we're going to continue to talk. But if you need me, Rhonda@rhondadial.com is my email. My website's rhondadial.com. You can call the office at 205-733-7000. You can listen to my radio show live here on Talk 99.5 on Saturday 3 to 5. Or if you're not local, you can go to iHeartRadio, which is an app on a phone if you got a smartphone, and listen to my show then when it's Central Time at that particular time, if you want to. And I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you. Now, do y'all have any questions